So here, we please check it out that in this syllabus here we having. So number one, we having purpose of normalization. Why we want to use normalization? We want to know that first of all. This is a very simple unit, guys, and this is very important unit for unit Dbms. Please don't దీన్ని అస్సలు వదలొద్దండి. ఇది వదిలేసుకుంటే nobody can help you out. Why? Because just how many topics we having in this particular unit in normalization. Let us go check it out once. We having a purpose of normalization. What is that? Purpose of normalization. We want to know that what is the purpose of normalization is there in a Dbms, number one. Then we're going to see that like types of normalization we have. It's very simple. 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF and 4NF, DKNF. There's 5 things. We'll go with that. I'll show it to you. I'm going to discuss that. Number one, purpose of normalization. Number two, types of normalization. Number three, you can go with that functional dependency. Functional dependency and partially functional dependency. We having 4 topics. We having how many topics we having? 4 topics we having. Now please let me know from you, JNT people have to give an exam in this one here. Yes or no? They given some syllabus for you, in that only they're going to ask the question. If we can go through all the 4 topics thoroughly, can you answer that? Is there any difficulties there? No, right? So this is about your syllabus here. Okay, this is about the syllabus. So we'll see. So this is about some of the definition for your normalization. Okay, so here this is a process which allows you to window out redundancy data without in your database. అంటే ఒక డేటాబేస్ లోని ఏదైతే డేటాను మనం ఎంటర్ చేయాలో ఆ డేటాను మాత్రమే ఉంచాలి. రిమైనింగ్ రిపీటెడ్ డేటా కానీ, డూప్లికేట్ డేటా కానీ, అన్నెసెసరీ డేటా కానీ, నాన్ సెన్స్ డేటా కానీ మనం డేటాబేస్లో అలో చేయకూడదు. దట్స్ ద ఫండమెంటల్ రూల్. Okay, that will be. So I'll go with the proof properties here. What is the first point we have? Scalar values in each field. You having some data in your database. That should be have some meaningful. Yes or no? And next one, absence of redundancy. And it should not be repeated again and again. It should be data redundancy should be there. And minimum use of null values. We're going to use the null values, but we want to minimize that. How we are going to minimize that? Where we are going to use the minimize that? So that will be going to be discussed in your 1NF, all those things. But this will be minimal using of null values is must and should. And what is the last one? Minimal loss of information. I mean, we don't want to lose any of the data information. Important data, ఏ data ఉండొచ్చు, అవసరం ఉన్నది అనుకున్న data ఏది కూడా లాస్ అవ్వకూడదు. Means that the loss is something is we are losing, but that should be minimized. That should be minimized. That a problem. Coming to the how many types of normalization we have. Types of normalization. Let us see. So here it is. Stop chestara. This is about the points we are discussing. Please be seated. So we having levels of normalization. Okay, we having some levels of normalizations. You can see that, and please be note down everyone. So you should know that first normalization. We should know that first normalization, second normalization, third normalization, BCNF, fourth normalization, fifth normalization, and domain key normalization. Meeku mana syllabus loni you have 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF and 4th NF. It's not going to consider in a syllabus. But what is the normalization? What it actually must and should have a properties. What sort of properties it should contain? You can. What is this? The data should be redundancy. And what is the number of tables have that? And what is it? Complexity. It should be there. Okay. Now, please be note on this once. And you please try to understand that what we are mentioning here. Most of the database should be in a 3NF and BCNF in order to avoid the database anomalies. Again, what is the meaning of animals here? And how many types of animals we having? How many types of animals we having? We having a three types we having. How many? We having a three types of animals. One is insect, two update, and third one is delete. We having 1, 2 and 3. We having 3 animals. Okay, and these are levels of normalization. Now, please be note down that this diagram is very, very important. Diagram is very, very important. Okay, why this diagram is very important means, so you can observe here there's a 1.5 is there. Okay, if you want to make it that 3.5, okay, what I want to say in that 3.5 అని మీరు సాటిస్ఫాక్టరీ చేయాలంటే ఖచ్చితంగా ఆ డేటాబేస్ అన్నది మస్ట్ అండ్ షుడ్ ఇట్ హ్యావ్ టు బి సాటిస్ఫై 1.5. అంటే 3.5 ని మనం సాటిస్ఫై చేయాలి అని మీరు అనుకుంటే, సో 3.5 సాటిస్ఫై చేయాలని అనుకుంటే ఇట్ షుడ్ బి సాటిస్ఫై 1.5 ఫస్ట్. ఓకే, it should be satisfy 1.5, then it should be satisfy 2.5, then only we are going to consider what is the properties of 3.5. Until unless the database table or database whatever may be, if it is not going to be satisfying of 1.5, it will not be considered for a 3.5. It should be must and should, it should be satisfied of 1.5, 2.5, then we are going to consider about what is the properties we need for to satisfy 3.5. Am I clear? And here, that's the reason we having a diagram here. So first cycle is 1.5. It satisfies that, then you have to get into the 2.5. So if you want to satisfy 3.5, that means this particular database have to must and should satisfy 1.5, 2.5, then goes to the 3.5. For suppose if you want to satisfy BCNF, then it have to satisfy 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and then we're going to discussing about that BCNF. Until unless we are not going to be satisfied 1, 2, 3 NF, we're never going to discuss anything about the BCNF. Am I clear? Right? So each higher level has a subset of the lower level. Means you're going in that, you're going to be satisfied next levels. Okay? Now, is it the table which I'm given here? Is it the satisfaction of 1.5? What is the table I'm having? Is it the satisfaction of 1.5? It's not the satisfaction of 1.5. Why? Because as your friend saying that any of the attributes are not having a multiple values. It should not be contain multiple values. And here, is there any duplicate values are there? Is there any duplicate values are there? You can wait, I'll come. Is there any duplicate values are there? No. Means property 1 duplicate values is not there, it's satisfied. Then property 2 we having, is there any null values are there? So we having a 1.5, there is a very strong point we having, we can allow null values, but we cannot allow null values in a primary number. Primary key must and should be have some value. So suppose if I'm going to consider is a ISBN is a primary key for me, so I don't want to allow any of the null value here. So here I'm not having any of the duplicates. Here I'm not having any of the null values of my primary keys. Both is satisfied, and I have a problem with multiple values. So any of the attributes never contain multiple values. It should not be contain multiple values. So whenever we having such type of values, we will like to insert a new record for them, and we can able to separate for them. Okay, right? So just see that. Okay, now it will be separating that. Okay, means again we don't want to have a duplicate record. We will going to be splitting a table into the two separate tables. Okay, the same table. This is the table I'm having. Now I want to convert that to satisfy 1.5. I converted that. Okay, so this is the one, and that's the one table you have. Now you can make sure that no issues, no duplications again. This is the one way we can able to do it that. Okay, this is the one way we can able to do that. Okay, so here please all items that appear in the repeating group in the new table. What we are doing? what are the values are repeating? Means earlier in this table I seen that author name and phone number is repeating, right? So what I'm doing, just creating a new table. Just note it on this. You're going to see here in a page here. Now you can see that we are using same now. Now here it's repeating, but the values are different, phone numbers are different. This is going to be accepted here, okay? But that will be there in a separate table. Now I am not saying this is your primary key here. Is not any primary key here. So in this particular table, this is a primary key for you. So in this particular table, it should be acting as a foreign key. Okay? You studied about the different primary keys and about the different foreign keys, all those things. Yes or no? So ISBN number is a primary key here, but in that particular newly created table, it should not be anymore as a primary key. That's the reason, even having a repeated record, we don't mind that. But why? Because ఎందుకంటే మనం ఒక లోన్ తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, లేదా వంశీకృష్ణ ఇస్ దేర్, ఈజ్ గోయింగ్ టు టేక్ ఎ లోన్. సో ఈజ్ గోయింగ్ టు టేక్ ఎ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ లోన్స్ కదా, ఒకే లోన్ తీసుకోవాలా, హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ లోన్స్ కదా. సో అక్కడ రిపీట్ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకు రిపీట్ అయిందంటే దీని మీద సంథింగ్ ఇస్ దేర్. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ప్రొఫెసర్ ఉన్నాడు, ప్రొఫెసర్ కెన్ ఏబుల్ టు టేక్ ఎ క్లాస్ అన్నప్పుడు ప్రొఫెసర్ క్యాన్ టేక్ మోర్ దెన్ వన్ సబ్జెక్ట్ కదా. ప్రొఫెసర్ ఒకే సబ్జెక్ట్ తీసుకోవాలని మనం చెప్పలేం కదా. ఇప్పుడు స్టూడెంట్ ఉన్నాడు, స్టూడెంట్ క్యాన్ స్టడీ ఓన్లీ వన్, అంతే కదా. ఇక్కడ ఇంజనీరింగ్ చేస్తూ అక్కడ పీజీ చేస్తూ ఇంకో కాలేజీలో చేయలేం కదా. దట్ ఈస్ ద థింగ్స్ ఇస్ దేర్. ఓకే, రైట్. సో హియర్ వాట్ ఐమ్ డూయింగ్, ప్లీజ్ ఆల్ ఐటమ్స్ దట్ అపియర్ ఇన్ ద రిపీటింగ్ గ్రూప్స్ ఇన్ ద న్యూ టేబుల్. సో ప్రైమరీ కీ అన్నది ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది దానికి కూడా, అంటే డూప్లికేట్ వాటిని ఎలిమినేట్ చేసుకొని వీ కెన్ ఏబుల్ టు డూ దాట్. ఓకే, నౌ సో దిస్ అబౌట్ ద ఫంక్షనల్ డిపెండెన్సీ. What is meant by functional dependency? So I have straight question with you, all of you. Please let me know that. Straight question. I'm having one important doubt for me. If there is a B and C is there. Okay. Now A is depending on B is depending on C. Now tell me, what is the relation these people having? So if I am talking about A, B, so there is a B is there indirectly, yes or no? But he is not going to see in there. But there the B is there. If you want to reach A to C, and suppose for this we have one more example. So you are in a kite college. Okay. You are in Kite College and you are in a Korangi and you want to reach Kakinada, KKD. Okay. So what we'll do, from ఇక్కడ నుండి కోరంగి వెళ్ళాలి, కోరంగి నుండి కాకినాడ వెళ్ళాలి. బట్ ఇక్కడ నేను మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు ఏమంటాను, యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో కైట్ టు కాకినాడ. బట్ ఎలా వెళ్తున్నాం, వేలో వెళ్తున్నాం కదా. అంటే until unless not going to reach the Korangi, you are never going to reach Kakinada. So that is about the, what is that? Functional dependency. Okay, that is all about the functional dependency. Please understood that. Okay, so here you have to prepare yourself, have a table, and you have to understood that if you have a 3 attributes, table schema I have to written like this, and what is known as the functional dependency, and which one is depending on the functional dependency. When I am talking about ISBN is always depending on title, yes or no? So without ISBN there is no title. Without a title there is no ISBN number. ఎందుకంటే ఈ టైటిల్ కి ఈ ISBN నెంబర్ ఇచ్చారు. కృష్ణ is there, Krishna having a rule number, that's it. No Krishna, there is no rule number. Like that. There is no Srinivas, there is no SP, there is no SP faculty ID, yes or no? So it's like that. Now ఇప్పుడు ఒక ISBN నెంబర్, యూ హ్యావింగ్ వన్ ISBN నెంబర్, yes or no? సో ISBN నెంబర్ ఉంది, ISBN నెంబర్ ఉందంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే ఇట్ షుడ్ బి సమ్ బుక్, అవునా కదా. సో బుక్ అని నువ్వు అన్నావు అంటే దానికంటే ఒక ప్రైస్ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఉంటుందా ఉండదా. సో ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ISBN నెంబర్. సో ఇది నీకు ఫారెన్ ఆథర్ అనుకోండి, దట్ ద డిఫరెంట్. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఫంక్షనల్ డిపెండెన్సీ అంటే అర్థమైంది కదా, ISBN ఇస్ డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ టైటిల్, అలాగే ISBN డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ ప్రైస్, స్ట్రైట్గా ఫంక్షనల్ డిపెండెన్సీ. ఓకే, now please note it on this. Here you have to write it that schemas, they are going to be given a tables for you. So what is the functional dependency you having, what is the functional dependency done, what is the titles you having, what type of functional dependency you have. You have to be clearly mentioned there. So you having an example 2, you having a public ID, publisher name and publisher phone number. Now, what is the table schema? P ID, P name and P phone number. Now you have to write it down that functional dependency and which one and what. So ikkada PID is dependent on P name, PID is dependent on phone number. Again, the both are depending on PID, public ID. Yes or no? That's the public schema. Earlier we are not seeing that one, but here you are seeing that. ఎందుకంటే ప్రైస్ అండ్ అది రెండు కలిపి నీకు ఐఎస్బి నెంబర్ అవ్వదండి, అది వేరు. కానీ ఇక్కడ పబ్లిక్ ఐడి నీకు రావాలంటే వాళ్ళిద్దరికి వీళ్ళు రెండు ఖచ్చితంగా అయ్యి ఉండాలి. నా టేకింగ్ as an example 3, you can see that. Again, please be note on guys.